Hey everyone, Django Fett here, Honey Down Games, Comics, TV shows, movies, and more, and this is a review for Seven Samurai. So back with another Akira Kurosawa film review, and I will just say right now, this is easily my favorite of his, and one of my favorite films of all time. So this film came out in 1954, and is the most well-known film of Akira Kurosawa's, and one of the most influential films of all time. I will leave my off-topic discussion into the many remakes and inspirations of his at the very end of this video. Essentially, the plot is that these farmers are so hurt by bandits constantly demanding food from them that they are forced to hire samurai to combat the bandits to help save them. They train the villagers to help protect themselves, as it's the only 7 of them and they can't do it alone, and are facing overwhelming odds too. This is the movie where this is all, originated from, and you've probably seen like a million times over, and you probably wondered, where did this originally come from? It came from this movie. But you always can't beat the original when it comes to that. So in this film, you have the villagers and the 7 samurai being the main focus of the film, of course. The villagers are utter cowards and very much feel like the lowest bottom dwellers of society, but back in that time of the Sengoku period, that's how they were depicted as and forced in society as such. And you really see that. They are the medieval European era equivalent of peasants of society and treated like crap, much like peasants were in that time. The samurai are the opposite and built up to be respected warriors, revered like medieval knights, but they are essentially thugs. Back in that time, of course, but there are some honorable folks here and there. So these samurai characters consist of first an old, experienced samurai played by Takashi Shimura, who has been in many of Akira's works and being the first to be recruited, and him recruiting others along the way and finding ways to recruit them that a samurai could only win in a test. You also have the young and experienced samurai, and then the others with their own quirks to them. And lastly, there is Kiku Chiyo, I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right, but I'll just say Kiku, played by Toshiro Mifune, and he is instantly the best. And he starts off appearing as this bandit thug character and fails the samurai test, follows them to prove his mettle over the arrogant samurai, as he ascertains. He is instantly the best character with the best backstory out of all the samurai, and is the most interesting character of the bunch. And I'm not saying that as just a Toshiro fan. I think everyone agrees that Toshiro is easily, his character, Kiku, is instantly the best character. There's no doubt without a mind. He starts off as a thug, then becomes this crazy and witty person who inspires the villagers and finds a role with them within the samurai, even though the samurai did not want him whatsoever in the first place. And he has one of the most powerful, if not the best moment in the film, when the villagers and Toshiro's character bring armor and swords they got from a cache, and the samurai are upset over the matter because they took it from samurai. And there is something behind that, and they hate the villagers for doing this. And you find out everything about Kiku from that matter, as he has a powerful moment and standoff against the samurai. And you find there's like a connection between him and the villagers, and you see that later again to reinforce that in the battle too. It's just easily my favorite moment in the film, just incredibly powerful. And man, just Toshiro is just an incredible with his range of acting, and it just always leaves me stunned seeing this guy's just amazing acting. The film is 3.5 hours with an intermission in between the film. Back then you had many films from Hollywood too, like Ben-Hur, Lawrence of Arabia, and the 10 Commandments, and many others, which had insane runtimes, like of 3.5 hours plus. And it was common to have intermissions, especially if you had films being that freaking long. You need to have that breaks. And I think they actually had several breaks in between, not just Seven Samurai, but I'm thinking of like the Lawrence of Arabia or Ben-Hur. I'm pretty sure had like several intermissions. Now we have a hard time just watching films longer than 2.5 hours. Also, the Lord of the Rings trilogy had each film run times of up to 3.5 hours, and the extended editions being upwards of 4.5 hours, but they are so freaking worth it. This film, Seven Samurai, this would actually be the longest film of Akira's career too. I just want to make that point too. So there's a lot of setup into this film, but the context is very important, and every detail matters and explains a lot. And the last hour, I think maybe a half an hour, is dedicated to the action. and it's just really good. It's a battle of attrition, and I just loved how they filmed the finale of this film in heavy rain weather, and they're in the mud fighting the bandits, and it's just insane to think on how they filmed that sequence, and the actors just put it their all in that sequence. It was just amazing. Now let's talk about the many inspirational remakes that I am familiar with one of the best remakes, Magnificent Seven in 1960, with instead of Japanese samurai, you have Western American cowboys or outlaws, which I really want to see again this film, Magnificent Seven, and do a comparison with Seven Samurai. Also, there was the 2016 The Magnificent Seven, which is a remake of a remake, and thought that was decent, and I think I did a review for that movie back in the day. I'll put a review in the comment section below if you guys want to see that. There's also A Bug's Life in 1998, which I can totally see that. I didn't even think of that movie at all. And 13 Assassins in 2010 is a fantastic, bloody, good samurai film, similar in many ways to Seven Samurai. And finally, there is Samurai 7, the anime series with a futuristic theme with robots. And I really want to rewatch 2. I just got a lot of Seven Samurai remake types that I need to rewatch and review now. So I have to obviously give Seven Samurai, the legendary film that it is, a... It's one of the most influential films of all time, like I mentioned before, and it got me to appreciate older films and respect them like no other when I first watched this film. This made me change my perspective back then, and I think it will do the same for you. If you have seen or never seen it before, you will get that appreciation and make you explore older films for sure. And I actually watched it back in VHS. Yes, back in that time. So when VHSs were a thing, I would always go to the library and get them and just watch movies. And Seven Samurai actually had, I think, I could be wrong, 3 or 4 VHS tapes to watch the entire film. Yes, that many. That says a lot right there. Usually it's like 1 VHS tape, but if it's like 2 hours, I think you would have 2 VHS tapes. It's been a while since I know anything about VHS tapes, but I remember distinctly that Seven Samurai was more than like 3 or 4 VHS tapes. So that was a clear indicator like, okay, this is a pretty long film, but god damn, is it worth it. So that was a very interesting experience for me. And then seeing this movie again and seeing it on HBO Max and just like on streaming, it's just like a whole different experience now. You don't have to worry about that shit anymore, like DVDs and stuff. So I have one more Akira Kurosawa film review I have left remaining and I need to attempt, and that is for Ran. After that review, I may want to do more Akira Kurosawa films reviews, but I will see what you guys have to say, and you guys can let me know in the comment section if you want to see more in the comment section below. So don't forget to please like this video, comment down below, tell me what you think of Seven Samurai in the comment section below. Do you think it's as legendary as I think it is? Let me know in the comment section, and subscribe to my channel, Django Fett, and I'll see you, my fellow Mandoite. And then brothers and sisters, next time. Oh, yeah.